So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Fulsome Friday. And as the series continues, this whole January, the start, has been about quizzes and understanding ourselves. So, I was asking you, what do you think about it? In terms of what these Fulsome Fridays are doing for you. Hemanti, you were saying something. What were you saying? Could you just repeat it if you can?
Yes, very much. Sorry, the button doesn't come up quickly.
Mm.
Um, I was just saying that how one can improvise in reciprocating and responding to similar situations in life because we keep learning and keep evolving, improving. However, sometimes the previous patterns come up and you still feel that you're at square one despite the evolution in
Right. Very true. And intention of Fulsome Friday has been that yes, we have a lot of fun, but whatever we are learning or understanding about ourselves through radical, should be applied in real life so that we actually get to know where we are. It's okay for us to come with our problems or situations that we are in, and then we work on it. But are we really working on it? And so these real life situations and scenarios, they help us really understand if we are on the right track. So that has been the intention of Fulsome Friday. Anybody else would like to add something to it? Then I can start what I have planned today. Now, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not about something has to be said, but participation has to be full. Otherwise, this will be incomplete, right? Again, there will be series where there'll be question answers, polls, quizzes, and let's see where we are to understand that the signals, do we turn them into sirens? Now, what does it mean by that? Because the idea is to see that when something feels off in life, what do we usually do first? So, now this question is for you. When something feels off in life, what do you usually do first? Now, quick answers. I'll give you the words: ignore it, delay it, overthink, distract, fix, or freeze. So, do you ignore it? Do you delay
life.
it? When something feels off in life, what do you do? So I'll read the chats. So, why is it not showing up? Yeah. Ignore initially, says Sri Vidya. I'm writing the words again in the chat so that you can read it. Yeah. Now give quick answers. This is just a general to put you in that space of awareness. And whatever I'm going to ask you now, or as a quiz for moving forward, if you have a paper and pencil with you, it'll be a great thing. Otherwise, you can note down in your phones only. You will have to reward points to yourself, but it has to be based on absolute honesty, not because it's being said here and not because it is being talked about and others are listening. Okay. So we have Neeti saying freeze, Snigdha saying delay. Yeah. Ignoring, distracted. So these are all, you know what these are? There's nothing wrong in any of the choices that you have made. These are just habits. These are not choices. Think about it. These are habits, not choices. Because most crises don't appear suddenly. They are missed messages, and this is what we did in the recitation yesterday also. Actually, it's a continuation of that only, that most crises don't appear suddenly. They are missed messages that keep knocking softly. So the series is continuing on the knock knock who's there also. So as I said, that life sends us signals before symptoms. It gives you a lot of discomfort before any breakdowns. And there are silences before disconnection. The people who were here yesterday would recall this, right? You remember we talked about this in the recitation yesterday. So again, today it's going to be about a lot of responses also, please. Okay, so don't just keep silent. So this is just a reminder that all this that happens in our life today, I'm making it now practical, what we did in the recitation yesterday, that about simplifying our responses so that life doesn't, need to be as complicated or, continue with us having complicated lessons in it. For example, now you respond quickly, okay? In this, there are two options. One will be a situation, and the second will be a signal. Like when you feel tired every morning for weeks, okay? When you're feeling tired every morning for weeks, do you take it as normal life or do you take it as a signal? Now, write your answer to yourself. So, who said signal? Niti says signal. Yeah, signal. You have to be honest, okay? Because if you're feeling tired every morning for weeks, do you take it, this is normal, yeah, I always feel tired, or do you take it as a signal? Right? Sri Vidya says normal. Good. Okay. A relationship feels fine. Normally, it's a nice relationship, but conversations feel empty. Is that a phase that you're going through or is it a signal? Don't answer for yourself, see how you see it. That do you see it as a phase in your life or do you see it as a signal? Shalu says signal. Earlier it was normal. Okay. Sri Vidya says phase. All right. All right. Anybody else would like to add? Manadeepa says it's normal. Okay. Now, irritation at small things keep increasing. All right. Irritations are increasing. Do you see it as a other's fault or do you see it as a signal? Irritation at small things. Signal, signal. Okay. Anybody else? Irritation at small things. Snigdha says signal to introspect. All right. Again, as I said, this is not what you're talking as a question answer. This is you talking to yourself. Irritation at small things increasing. Do you see it as others' fault or signal? And you have given me the answers. Now, last one. Procrastinating over something that is important repeatedly. You're procrastinating about something important repeatedly. Do you see it? Do you understand it as laziness or do you see it as a signal? Procrastinating about something which is important. Signal, okay. Signal, all right. Signal, wonderful. I mean, wonderful in the sense you're giving the responses. Signal about my pattern, signal. Now, do you see that? Those who have said it is signal, signals, if they are ignored, they become sirens. Sirens means a warning, a real warning. So you need to address it. If you are really seeing it as signals, feeling tired every morning for weeks, relationship feels fine, but conversations are empty, irritation at small things increasing, procrastinating about some things that are important, but you're repeatedly procrastinating. So these are signals. If they are ignored, they become sirens, and responding early to it, to these signals, is not dramatic. It's intelligent. So if you are really intelligent about life and how you want to lead it, then you would do something about it. You would understand it as laziness. you would see it, as maybe a phase in your life. But then why is it a phase? Why is it lays in it? Then you'll work on it. And these signals keep coming to you for you not to ignore it. Does that make sense? Responses, quick responses. Anybody want to say something? Look, today's conversation day, you know that, right? Do you relate to it? Anything? Thumbs up, hands, answers, hearts, applause, anything for yourself? For yourself, it's not for me. So you do understand these signals. Thank you, Monideepa. Nobody else understands it. All right. So now I'm going to move to something which is different. Keep a paper and pencil, or maybe just something, mark yourself. You have to give 1 point for everything that you have answered honestly. And where you feel that you do not agree with it, don't award yourself a point. Okay? So you just award yourself 1 point each, because at the end of it, we'll get to know where we are. So please be honest with yourself. And you will answer me here, but keep mentally noting or keep giving yourself points. Where you do not agree or you feel you would not like to sort of relate to anything, don't give yourself points. All right? So I'm going to write it here so that it becomes easier. 1 minute, I'll have to copy it and paste it. All right, let me ask the question first. When something feels off in life, my first instinct is overthink, ignore it and move on. Overthink it, distract myself, fix it immediately, pause and observe. There's no right or wrong. When something feels off in my life, my first instinct is ignore it and move on, overthink it, distract myself, fix it immediately, pause and observe. Overthink, all right? Overthink, overthink. Right. Continue if anybody else wants to say something too. Snigdha, fix it immediately. Fix it. Pause and observe. Okay. Right. Overthink or pause and observe. Okay. So yeah, there are lots of answers to that. Fix it immediately. So we have 4 fixes and some pauses and overthink. Shalu says overthink, but now pause and observe. All right. All right. Let's move to the next one. Most problems in my life became serious because 1 minute. Let me copy it and paste it here. Most problems became serious in my life because I didn't notice early signs, noticed but delayed action. Can you please mute, please, whoever it is? Okay. So most problems in my life became serious because I didn't notice the early signs, noticed but delayed action, thought it would resolve itself, was afraid of overreacting, tried to manage everything alone. So most problems in my life became serious because, tell me which one it was. Tried to manage alone, all right? That's Snigdha. Others? These are honest answers to yourself, remember. It has nothing to do.
Ma'am,
Yeah?
I would like to share. In the last question you asked, I think there are stages for me. Like I think about it, then if I can't find a solution, then I distract myself and ignore and move on. And for this, earlier it used to be ki, blame used to be on others and things like that. Now and then we try to manage everything alone, also being the savior and everything. And now it is like how we see, we reflect, and then I get help also.
Awesome.
Now I figured out कि I get help. Either this session would help me or guide me, or something or the other will happen. The radical guidance is there. Otherwise, also the guidance is there, which has been very helpful to move on. And
Yeah.
I'm not feeling as much stuck,
Okay.
apart from a couple of things.
Wonderful. So that is the idea, I'm trying to simplify the radical, philosophy for all of you to understand that if we work on this and understand where we are honestly within ourselves for situations, then we can work on it better. All right. Thank you so much, Neha. So my question was, most problems in my life became serious because Sarika says, tried to manage alone. Sri Vidya said, noticed but delayed the action. Snigdha says, tried to manage alone. Ramandeep was afraid of overreacting. Shalu says, tried to manage everything alone. And I've gone through all of the above situation, Manideepa says. All right. So now, wherever you think you are, then you know that that is the point from where you have to start working on how to deal with problems in your life. Because if they became serious, it was because of whatever aspects you have mentioned over here. All right. Next, let's go to the next one. This is about belief check. Giving early attention to something often feels like, just a minute. Giving early attention to something often feels like extra responsibility, emotional drain, unnecessary worry, caring too much, or a smart form of self-respect. Giving early attention to something often feels like extra responsibility, emotional drain, unnecessary worry, caring too much, a smart form of self-respect. Okay, Neha says unnecessary worry. Quick responses, don't have to think about it. Ramandeep also says unnecessary worry. Caring too much, Srividya, yeah. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'll go to the next. So here again, you have to assess for yourself when you give early attention to something often, what does it feel like? Is it feel like extra responsibility, emotional drain, unnecessary worry, caring too much, or a small form of self-respect? Right. All right. Unnecessary worry was before, but after radical, it is not so bad. Okay, thank you, Parmeen. Thank you. So again, everything about self-reflection makes you understand that all those signals that are there, we do not need to convert them into sirens. Ganti baj gayi, and we have to be worried about what is going to happen next, or how are we going to deal with it, or we break down, or we go through traumas, or we try to hide away. There are so many things we start doing, right? All right, next one. This is about body intelligence. Now start awarding yourself 1 point each, whatever your answer is, but give a honest answer. All right? When my body sends early signals, that means fatigue, tension, discomfort, I usually push through, ignore and normalize it, promise to look at it later, adjust slightly, or respond with care immediately. So when my body sends early signals, I usually push through, ignore and normalize it, promise to look at it later, adjust slightly, respond with care immediately. Yes, people? Neeti says respond with care. Okay. Adjust slightly, Ignore to 1 minute, it's going so fast. Ignore but respond with care now. Okay, Snigdha says, I used to push through. Now, post-radical, I've gone over to responding with care. Srividya says, adjust slightly. Ramandeep, adjust slightly. Paramita, pause and observe. Neha, ignore and normalize. That's all right. So, but for every honest answer, you're giving a point to yourself, okay? Now, next, relationship signals. If a relationship feels distant or quiet, I tend to assume the following. Yeah. If a relationship feels distant or quiet, I tend to assume it's normal, wait for the other person to respond or react, avoid the discomfort, get mentally busy, or just check in gently. Check about how you're feeling, why it is so, or just be there for someone. So if a relationship feels distant or quiet, check in gently, all right? Check in gently, check in gently, check in gently. Oh, wow. I like it, girls. You're on the right path. You are all working towards making your life easier and better with Radical. Get mentally busy. All right. That's also honest. Very nice. And I'm going to paste the next one. Right. You have a question, Neha? You've raised your hand?
No, ma'am, I wanted to answer. It goes on in loops. I first wait for the person, then I, distract myself, mentally get busy, then I get check in gently. I don't get the answer, then again I wait for the person, and it goes on in loop for me.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay,
I kind of agree with Neha. Matlab, there are stages, but all these points happen,
yeah,
but that final thing that we have learned, check in gently, it comes a lot earlier now. Well, it
right.
used to take a long time.
Okay, that is the key. That's the crux. That whichever stage you are in right now. So if you're assuming it's normal, or you're waiting for the other person to respond, or you're avoiding the discomfort, hiding away, or get mentally busy, or check in gently. Right. Yes, so Shalu says she's with Neha and Sarika. Okay, honest. So next one is recurring irritation. This is about emotional awareness. Okay, recurring irritation or numbness usually means others are difficult, life is stressful, something needs attention, I need distraction, or it will pass on its own. Recurring irritation or numbness. Something needs attention. All right. Yes, Snigdha. Others?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
shall I? It used to be recurring irritation used to be very normal and part of life. Like these things never occurred.
Mhm.
कि हाँ and numbness is something I have realized very it is something very new कि हाँ I'm not feeling anything, this is being numb is something after radical only I've realized this word is new for me, that I feel this is a something emotion. Void and numb are two things which
Yeah.
I've just now realized.
Awesome. So you see, the awakening that happens in our lives when we really start following the essence of the consciousness of radical, it makes it clear to us, where we are, what we are doing, how we need to respond, where we need to introspect, etc. So that process keeps going on, right? So I'll just repeat it. Recurring irritation or numbness usually means others are difficult, life is stressful, something needs attention, I need distraction, it will pass on its own. And the interesting thing is, all of you have said something needs attention. Beautiful. Keep awarding points to yourself, okay? Right. Now, next is fear beneath the delay. If there's a delay, there is some fear which is causing that delay, all right? So, let me just first copy it and paste it over there. All right. 1 minute. Hmm. Responding early feels uncomfortable because I fear being wrong, being judged, making things bigger in terms of the problem, losing control, I don't fear it anymore. So responding early feels uncomfortable because I fear being wrong, being judged, making things bigger, losing control, and I don't fear it anymore. So we have being wrong. I won't take names because it's a Fulsome Friday and it doesn't need to have names being said all the time. Being wrong, being judged, making things bigger, being judged to, I don't fear it anymore. Okay, so from the process of feeling being judged at a point, you have now come, I'll take your name, Sri Vidya, to a point that you don't fear it anymore. Being judged, making things bigger. I fear being judged and making things bigger. So you see, our responses, because we hold on to that fear, wow, it leads to so much chaos inside us. And that leads to more emotions developing. Being wrong means maybe the guilt starts building up. Being judged means that you also have expectations and judgments which you are doing to others. It's a mirror, right? Making things bigger. So you're expanding it so much in your mind. So that is causing more stress and helplessness in your life, or feeling absolutely no good, or feeling I'm the unwanted one, or I am not in control, right? Not having your own abilities to control yourself. Losing control, that's very obvious. I don't fear it anymore. Now, again, it's not about that I have to give this answer because that is where I want to be. All the answers are based on where you are today. So thank you so much for this honest answering. Right. Does it resonate with you in terms of all of you? Maybe we can have a little dialogue right now. It's been going one way for so long. How do you feel about it till now? I mean, how much of honesty you're putting into it in answering, and how much of honesty is there for you to feel that yes, things have become different for me? Can anybody tell me?
Yeah, ma'am, I have a realization like things has shifted,
Yeah,
but then sometimes because it is habits, so sometimes they still show up.
right,
So, yeah.
right. So yeah, we have more
So
of
we tend to
habits.
react rather than respond.
Absolutely, absolutely. So anybody else would like to say so? Yes, Nigda?
Hi, ma'am. So things have definitely shifted. I think what's more important is there is an awareness to observe, however our reaction is, whatever it is, there's an awareness to observe it without judgment.
Mhm.
And, to just accept, there's an awareness that we just have to accept all of these parts. And then we can think about what we need to change. So I
Right.
think that has come in.
Oh, so that is a process where you are now uh, walking towards complete detachment.
Hmm.
Understand? So
Yes,
you see,
ma'am.
these words we keep using in all our recitations and in otherwise, in whatever we are trying to solve for
Hmm.
ourselves. But these kind of questions, that are posted, they also lead you towards understanding at which stage you are for various thoughts, feelings, emotions in your life. And it simplifies it for you to work on yourself, wherever you are. So that's why I said that the honesty in answering today is more about just yourself, not about, okay, this may be the right answer. There are no right answers, there are no wrong answers, right? So,
Aarti,
yeah,
sorry, can I speak?
yeah, sure.
So
Can you
I was
switch on
saying
your
that,
camera?
yeah, I will.
Yeah,
Looking pretty horrible, but I'm sorry.
it's okay.
So, in the beginning of the year, I had some trigger. So I was
Mhm.
pretty disturbed, pretty scattered for 2, 3 days. But then what took, and then I saw sorted. In fact, I really liked your affirmations, taking one thing at a time.
Mhm.
I'm choosing to stay calm for now. So those five, I took just first 1, 2, 3 affirmations and just stayed with them.
Mhm.
And I kind of recovered pretty fast.
Okay.
And in fact, it's been only 4 or 5 days when that happened and that finished. So it used to take months before.
Awesome. So you see, again, so it is all about the willingness to work on yourself, the willingness to accept that yes, ye mere mein hai, I have this situation. I won't say problem. I have this situation and I need to work on it. Who can work for you?
Exactly.
Only you. Who can heal yourself? Only you. You don't need anybody external to help you. That is the beauty of radical. You don't need anybody else. It is an auto healing tool, and that power of this auto healing tool for anybody for that matter in any form of healing is unless
I
you
would like to say
apply.
one more thing, Aarti. I would like to say, because I am only recently, since I have not even done level one, I'm only recently, say about 2 days back, I've started realizing the power of soul's love.
Right,
And I would say it's immense. It's
right.
immense. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
In fact, now what I do is I start writing. I start scribbling with souls. And whatever comes to my head, I keep writing. And it works. It works wonders.
So now I would recommend you to join level one and keep your progress
I am.
going.
It's starting in March. It's not starting early. That's the problem.
Okay, no problem. Till that, you are with us for this, and maybe get your other friends also to join. Now, it's not about promoting on this channel or
Yeah,
on
I
the,
understand.
but the fact is, you have just acknowledged it that it works so beautifully.
Yes,
And
it does.
yeah, so yes, we would like, the whole. Actually, we'd like to empower the whole world. That's a big thing to say. But if even one by one, each drop of people keep joining and understanding what radical can do for them, and it is an auto healing technique, and it is something so powerful that it at any point in your life, like when I lie down sometimes and I'm not feeling up to it, and I'm tossing and turning, I don't go into, okay, why is it happening? What I just say, with soul's love, I empower myself to sleep. और पता नहीं कब बोलते 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 then I go to sleep also. I don't even realize what has happened. So these things work. So yes, I would like all of you please to encourage people. Maybe let them come for Fulsome Friday itself, but they'll have to join isolvelife.com so that they can get to the dashboard. Right. All right. Parmeet, thank you, Sarika, for your input and your feedback.
Hi, ma'am.
Parmeet, yes, Parmeet.
Yeah, I attended that Atman ma'am's inner detox, the previous when she came to Mumbai, and it's so amazing, Dee, and really it is wonderful. And really, I mean, if I have any problem and it gets a solution in a like after doing that, I get very easily, I get the solution, and it's so really hats off to her.
Isn't it? So you see,
Yes, yes,
everything is there. So radical, as I said, is the most simplified form of healing. And
yes, yes.
we don't need to, once we empower ourselves, then life will become easy, effortless, and fun. And that's what the whole purpose is, right? Thank you, Burmeet. And I know it must have been Bombay mein hua hai, it will happen in Bangalore, it will happen in Delhi and in other cities also, Ahmedabad, etc. It will keep happening now in a detox. So Delhi walas, don't feel you will not get it. You will also get it when Atman comes to Delhi. Yeah, Neha, what are you saying? You have
I
Mute.
was
Next.
just saying, which Snigdha mentioned and Sarika mentioned earlier. Signal was never the trigger. Siren was the trigger.
Ah,
Now we are in a state where signals have we've understood. We can call them triggers.
right, right. Beautiful. Okay, let me go further now before we go for just talking. Now, this is about simplification. This is an insight towards simplification, and it says simplifying my choices really means one of the following. Let me write it here. Yeah. Simplifying my choices really means doing less, thinking less, acting sooner, being clearer, trusting myself. Doing less, thinking less, acting sooner, being clearer, trusting myself. Thinking less, trusting myself, being clearer, trusting myself. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is personal reflection. And you have to be Really honest. Okay, let me paste it here. Right now, one area that is asking for earlier attention from you is your health, your relationships, work or your purpose, your emotional well-being, rest or boundaries. Health, relationships, work, Neha says all right, purpose, emotional well-being, rest or boundaries. Okay, Sarika says health and relationships. Others, here I'd like all to participate. I won't take names if you don't want me to. Health and relationship, emotional well-being. Oh, that's a big one right now for you. Yes. Anybody else would like to add? Work purpose, emotional well-being, and relationships. Right. All is fine. All is fine means you need to work on all these areas. Right, Monideepa, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. All right.
Emotional well-being is also needed.
All right. Now, when I'm closing this part of this segment, the question is, completing this session, I realize one of the following. 1 minute. Completing this segment, I realize I ignore less than I thought. I delay more than I admit. I already know the signals. Small responses matter. I'm ready to respond earlier. Now here I'd like to have answers from everyone. Sarika says small responses matter. That's very true. Small responses matter. Others?
What is the question?
Completing this session, now this whole segment that I did with you, I realized these are the following options. Completing this session, I realize I ignore less than I thought. I delay more than I admit. I already know the signals. Small responses matter. I'm ready to respond earlier. Okay, I delay more than I admit. Okay, I ignore less than I thought. Wonderful, Ramandeep, ignore less. I'm very happy to hear that from you. Yeah, you're on track. Anybody else would like to add? Come on, people. This is Fulsome Fridays I make specially for all of us to get through life. Small responses matter. Right. I delay more than I admit. All right. Great. All right. So now the idea was just to understand that just notice. Awareness itself simplifies life. So if the signals are there and your awareness is there and you start noticing these things, that means you are on the right track to simplify situations before it explodes into something, big for you, because signals, what are they trying to tell you? Respond early, simplify gently, no sirens needed. Correct? How many can agree with this? Thumbs up or whatever. I can give a thumbs up to myself. Yeah. Anybody else? All right. Great. So then, the whole idea was the points that you gave to yourself. It was basically, were you answering honestly or were you answering ideally? Can you tell me? Verbally, can you tell me, were you answering honestly or were you answering ideally?
Honestly, I mean, the first response that came, I don't know. Later on, when you look at the options, you feel ki, like Neha said, her stage se gaye hain. But at that moment, what clicked, tuck, That's what was given.
Okay. How many of you are honest? Neha says honest.
Honestly, ma'am.
Okay.
Honest.
Others?
Yeah,
Honest responses, ma'am.
Honest.
Honest responses, ma'am.
Okay.
Going through all the processes, मतलब स्टेज बाय स्टेज ऐसे है, और इंट्रोस्पेक्शन ज्यादा बढ़ गई है, अवेयरनेस ज्यादा हो गई है। अब पकड़ते हैं, अब क्वेश्चन व्हाट होता है कि अभी हम कहाँ पे हैं, मतलब व्हाट इज द नीड टू लर्न फ्रॉम दिस सिचुएशन।
Right.
सो थैंक यू रेडिकल, थैंक यू टू यू।
No, thanks. It is all a process for all of us to, just say it's like bringing up a child. So bringing ourselves up in terms of, little baby, as it keeps growing at various stages, you keep doing things to it so that its growth happens better. When it's a little baby, you do massages and everything so that the muscles are stronger. Then you start feeding it food, the kind of food it can eat. Then it starts walking. Then so many things at every stage, you keep providing and caring. So just think of yourself as that little baby, and you're going to be caring for yourself. So all these stages that we talk about that keep coming in our lives can be simplified when we learn how to deal with everything at a vibrational level, at the frequency level, at the consciousness level, and learning to understand that our reality is governed by whatever we want to bring into our lives. Whatever we want our lives to be, and not keep either cursing it or feeling angry about it or feeling, that you've been shortchanged or you've been given a bad deal in life and why me, and jealousies and envy, and, look at the emotions that we live with. Look at the thoughts we keep creating to clutter our minds. And then they start affecting the way we live. No. So let's listen to all the signals, before they are converted into an ambulance, with a siren going there and trying to get you to a hospital. Right? All right. Now, my question next is, most problems in my life became serious because, 1 minute, let me just copy paste it first. Yeah. Most problems in my life became serious because I, A, didn't notice early signs, B, noticed but delayed the actions, C, thought it would resolve itself, tried managing alone, D, E, all of the above. Now, what I want you to do is keep writing the A's and B's or whatever to yourself also. You can write here and just make a note, because at the end of it, the number of A's or the number of B's, etc., will give you some solution. So please write it. All right? Or you can verbally just say it right now and write it to yourself so that I can take it quicker. Most problems in my life became serious because I didn't notice early signs, noticed but delayed action, thought it would resolve itself, tried managing alone, all of the above. You may not write it here, but you can just verbally say it. You can write it for yourself. All right. Right. I'm not going to read it in the chat. Just write it to yourself, but please verbally say it so that I know there are responses coming. When something.
All of the above.
All right. When something feels off, my instinct is to which of the following? Ignore it. A. B. Overthink it. C. Distract myself. D. Fix it immediately. E. Pause and observe. Write your answers to yourself also. Right?
Please repeat question.
Question is, when something feels off, my
Okay.
instinct is to A. Ignore it. B. Overthink it. C. Distract myself. D. Fix it immediately. E. Pause and observe. Write the ABCDs to yourself, okay? Because the answers are in the ABCDE. All right. I'm going to the next one. Giving early attention feels like, 1 minute, giving early attention feels like A, extra responsibility, B, emotional drain, C, overreaction, D, self-respect. Giving early attention feels like. Think. Some questions don't have an E, so don't worry about it. Extra responsibility. B, emotional drain. C, overreaction. D, self-respect. All right? I hope you're writing the answers, because here the answer is reflecting your belief, not the truth. Giving early attention feels like. This answer is revealing the belief, not the truth. All right? I'm going to the next one. I delay responding early. I delay responding early because
बता क्या होता है तेरा?
one. All right. I delay responding early because I fear A, being wrong, B, being judged, C, making things worse, D, losing control, E, I don't fear it anymore. I delay responding early because I fear A, being wrong, B, being judged, C, making things worse, D, losing control, E, I don't fear it anymore. All right? Now, if there is a fear, when I asked, I delay responding early because I fear. If you can name the fear to yourself, give yourself one extra point also. All right? Next, when my body sends early signals. Now we are talking of signals of, stress or whatever else we're talking of, right? When my body sends early signals, I usually push through, that is A. B, normalize it. C, delay the care. D, adjust slightly. E, respond immediately. When my body sends early signals, I usually A, push through. B, normalize it. C, delay care. D, adjust slightly. E, respond immediately. Because remember, the body whispers before it shouts. So you have your answers, you're writing it. All right. Okay, I assume you've written it. All right. Next, recurring numbness in me usually means it is because of A, life's stress, B, others' behavior, C, something inside needs attention, D, distraction is needed. Recurring numbness usually means A, life stress, others' behavior, something inside needs attention, and distraction is needed. All right? Okay, there is a response here about others' behavior, but I hope you're writing it all down also, because you're going to count and then I'll tell you what it is. Remember, numbness is not absence. It's a message to yourself. Numbness is not an action. It's a message. All right. Now, final one. Simplifying my choices actually means A, doing less, B, thinking less, C, acting sooner, D, being perfect, E, trusting myself. Simplifying my choices actually means doing less, B, thinking less, C, acting sooner, D, being perfect, E, trusting myself. Right. Okay? Wow. So let's first go. Okay, let's see about ancestral and borrowed beliefs. I learned to ignore my needs because I learned to ignore my needs because others came first. Emotions were discouraged. C. Survival mattered more. D. I had to be strong. E. I'm not sure, but it feels old. I learned to ignore my needs because others came first. Emotions were discouraged. Survival mattered more. I had to be strong. I'm not sure, but it feels old. Remember, you didn't invent this pattern, but today you can gently retire it. So give an honest answer to yourself, okay? A, B, C, D, E. All right. Wow. Now, let's do the self-worth check. I feel worthy when one minute. Yeah, I feel worthy when I, A, push through discomfort, B, stay silent, C, don't ask for help, D, take care early, E, prove I can manage. Remember, worth doesn't increase through neglect. So which one of this is it? I feel more worthy when I, whatever, push through discomfort, stay silent, don't ask for help, take care early, prove I can manage. All right. Now, you're writing your ABCDs, I'm sure, right? Now, when I sense I'm overstretched, this is about boundaries and responses. This is about boundaries and responses. Now, let me first write it here. When I sense I'm overstretched, my usual response is A, keep going, B, feel guilty, C, withdraw suddenly, D, say yes anyway, E, pause and reset. Because a boundary set early prevents a breakdown later. Remember that. But when I'm overstretched, what are my responses? Just give your response to this. All right, good. Now, decision fatigue. You know, when you're delaying decisions, why is it happening? Let's check that. This is, I delay simply because A, I want certainty. I fear regret. I overthink outcomes. I wait for motivation. I actually know but avoid acting. So A, B, C, D, E, whichever it is for you. Because delayed decisions don't disappear, they keep accumulating. Right? All right. So now that you've written it all to yourself, let me ask you. The people who have the most A and B, check. Raise your hands. Most A and Bs. That is, okay, let me read it to you. Then you can decide which one is it for you. A and B is about conditioning and survival response. C and D is emotional avoidance or fatigue. And too many E's is readiness for simplification. I'm writing it here. You can see it for yourself. And now tell me, where do you think you are? Yeah? Where are you? No answers? Was it too heavy a session? So I'm getting written answer. Nobody's talking today. B equals E equals 3. All right, equally between D and E. All right. Neeti says too many E's for me. So see where you are. I mean, this is what is coming out of it, that it is letting you understand where you are. How does that feel? Does it give an awareness to you? Because many A's and B's is about conditioning and survival responses. C and D is emotional avoidance or fatigue. Many E's is ready for simplification. How beautiful is that you're ready for simplification, right? And how many points did you give to yourself? If you gave 3 points, 0 to 3, not 1 minute, I'm going to write it here. So 0 to 3 points, you are being very honest and human. If you are between 4 to 6 points, you're becoming aware. And if it was 7 plus points, you already respond earlier than you think. The goal was never points. It was permission to yourself, where you are honestly with yourself. Yeah? So how did this go? Smita, you raised your hand. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, ma'am. I was going to say that I guess with the patterns breaking, more awareness coming in slowly, I can see how much I'm still hanging on to old patterns of emotional fatigue and how much I'm also trying to move forward. So it's a mix of both.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else would like to add?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Even I saw it was like 5 A's, B's, then 4 emotional, then 3 E's. So I could see the pattern for myself as well.
Yes, that was the idea. To see the pattern where you are, simplify it for you so that you start understanding the signals and do not convert them into sirens, right? Anybody else would like to come on, people? Today you made it like, I know it was not it was more of a monologue today, but others, it was supposed to be a dialogue, and you're making me sad if you're not going to respond. So you'll create an inner child in me today, one of you. Yeah, any other responses?
Yeah, ma'am. I mean, I when I was just counting because I had little for few of the responses I was moving from some to like B to D and everything like so that is why it took some time. But I think I am stuck between conditioning and readiness. So I'm happy that it is 5B and 6Cs. So
Okay.
I'm almost like getting to transformating into the readiness. So
Yeah.
I was happy to see that count. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is my observation.
Wonderful. So now it makes it simpler for you to really know where you are, right? Honest, lovely. Others, please give me feedback for this because it's important.
Ma'am, for me, it was still between C and D.
Uh-huh.
Though I try to be on E,
Hmm.
many times I know I have to take it easy, but still it's very difficult. But I'm happy now whenever I am, doing something which is between C and D, I'm more aware that it's a choice I am making. That
Honest.
it's not the circumstances or this. Otherwise, it always felt like, this is how it has to be. There is no choice.
Right. Great. Great, Raman. Yes. Anybody else? People, what are you here for? Not to be silent, to participate. Come on. You can do it. Okay, Paramita says thank you. Yes, of course, thank you. Neha says thank you. Lovely session. All right. So, okay, fine. So then I hope it did bring about a certain clarity and a certain clearance in your minds as to how you can go on continuing to help yourself and keep evolving, keep climbing the ladder of awareness and consciousness where you want to be in life. Yeah. So thank you so much for your participation. Again, I would appreciate your feedbacks because feedbacks help me design better programs for you. If I don't receive feedback this time, now I'm being a bully. If I don't receive feedbacks for this, from all the people who are here, then I will not do Fulsome Friday from next time. That's a threat. Okay?
Ma'am.
No, I need feedbacks because this doesn't work like this. I want others also to get the benefit of it. I can't keep creating quizzes for online also because there also at one point no feedbacks came and I threatened you and then you responded. Why do you want threats, Baba? Let's learn to respond in life with ease and happiness. Okay. So all the best to all
Thank
of
you for the
you.
insightful session, ma'am.
Thank you so much for being there and see you next Friday for the next Fulsome Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.